something about your movie, why I made a curator's pick of the Hollywood Fringe Film community. Heart. Crazy Dee.
This is another great episode of the Film Review. Now, hey, what's going on, people? How you feeling? This is another great episode of the Film Review. Movies, music, culture, politics, and society. We are the husband and wife team. I'm Crazy Dee.
I'm Tracy.
And we review movies, music, culture, politics, and society. And do we have a great show for you today?
Yes.
But as usual, you know what I have to do first. I have to go through and populate. So, how was your weekend?
It was good. How was yours?
Go ahead and dip for it. Now, you might as well dip for it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Mine was pretty good. Yours was good. Yeah, checking out.
Yours was your birthday?
That's right. This was my birthday weekend starting on the 24th.
You were busy.
We want to shout out to first Reime Schemes.
Yes.
Because Reime Schemes came to the radio station during Like It Is Radio with Franklyn G. And he did his thing. He came in and he talked about being at the Soul Central Magazine Awards that happened over the weekend. And we were there to cover that too. You know what I mean? So we're going to be talking about all that. And of course, we're going to be talking about Will Smith's Aladdin. Well, it's Disney's Aladdin, but it's starring Will Smith, you know what I mean, as the genie. So we're going to be talking about that. So let me say this real quick, so we can get started here. So how was your week leading up to this?
The week, it was a good week. It was a busy week.
Busy. I say it was busy.
And adjusting to the weather.
Oh yeah, you know the weather is kind of strange for this time of year in Las Vegas. We keep talking about that every week, but it is true. It is strange for this time of year, and we just have to say that and let you know that. Because most people think that it's sunny and it's going to be burning around this time, and that's not exactly what's happening this year. So let me tell you. For those of you who are into politics, in the politics side of the Film Review, you can check us out on Consciousness, Politics, Entertainment, and Females page. We just populated there. You know, we have many different pages on Facebook, so we just populated there. I'm going to tell you the different pages where we are, so you can go there. And also, another one of the pages is the actual Film Review, movies, music, culture, politics, and society page. Make sure you like that page. We just populated there. So for the people who want to go right there on that page and watch us. So basically, we're simulcasting over various pages. The LordlandFilms.com page on Facebook. We just populated there. We'll run through it so you know where we're populating, and you can watch it anywhere that you on Facebook where you would want to watch it. You know what I mean? We don't have it just on the Crazy Dee page. And then there's the CDMP TV and Film movies page. Go in there and check it out there. Just populated there. So let's go through this real quick. Let me do some populating right here.
I know everyone is having a busy or restful with Memorial Weekend.
Yeah, I hope they are. You know what I'm saying? For those who don't know, Memorial Day was created by black people who buried their dead after the Civil War. That's why Memorial Day was created. So it's not something where people can say that it was created by the group of people who primarily say that they celebrate it. So we want to say that, right? Let's see here. So we go. All right. So also we have some films that we watched that are secondary films. Like we just finished watching this one called The Perfection. We're gonna be talking about that tonight.
Netflix.
And yeah, that's right. And then we watched the full second. We binge watched the full second season of
She's Gotta Have It.
She's Got to Have It.
Yeah.
Season 2. So let's see. Other options I have here. Alright, let's go here. Alright. So, like we said, the weather is strange. You know, it make you feel like the world is coming to an end. But not necessarily.
Some people are enjoying the weather.
Yeah, you know, that's what I said.
A
lot of people who are native of Las Vegas, they're saying, "Oh, we love it." I say, just like they love the snow back in February, and I say, "Oh, let it stick around for a while, and then begin to turn into slush and stay." And then you say, and the same thing about this. Let this stick around. And people can't really enjoy the pool. They come out the pool hacking and coughing. And they won't be necessarily liking this too much. Right? After all. Alright. So, hopefully you're getting ready to enjoy this Memorial Day weekend that's coming up. But let's start with my weekend. May 24th, it kicked off. Started with Reime Schemes coming to Like It Is Radio. He debuted his single, Thief Ah Whine, or like I like to say, Thief Ah Whine, right? And
that was an excellent interview.
Yeah, that was an excellent interview.
Yeah,
we have
Reime Schemes and Franklyn G, and it was a great show.
Yeah, great show.
And also the singer, she called up.
That's right. No show. Yeah, she
gave a great interview also.
Or was it Nashu? She called up, she gave a great interview and connected that international flavor between black people, you know, which is part of black diaspora around the country, around the world. She connected that. And of course you can see Thief Ah Whine by Reime Schemes on the Film Review Music Review Show, right? And speaking of the Music Review Show, we have a special announcement. We have our first advertiser, people, that is advertising with us on the Music Review Show, and that is TC's Barbecue Crib. You know, she's Sharon came on, and she's our first
wonderful
advertiser. Coming on to advertise with the Film Review,
which I am elated because, gosh, when we touched down here in
2012,
right? That's the
and we were searching
out. We were searching out
black-owned
businesses. Because back home we have like tons of black-owned businesses, and we support all of them, all of the restaurants.
Because we're a black-owned business,
right?
So of course, we will support.
Right. So just like we support all others, we should make a very huge concerted effort to support our own. So we touched down, and that's when we met Sharon and her husband, and we just loved the food. We loved the restaurant. As a matter of fact, one of the events was held Friday, right? The meet and greet.
The meet and greet for the Soul Central magazine.
Yeah, and it was packed.
So she's coming on as our first advertiser, right? And so you're going to be hearing more and seeing the commercial and all that running through various things, because we have the Film Review shows, right? We have the Film Review Bars, which is a 10-minute show that shows on IG channel, on my Crazy Dee Film Dude IG channel, right? And that channel is populated with all various types of shows, short films. Go there and watch that. follow Crazy Dee Film Dude IG, and you'll be able to see all that. Also, everything shows globally, and you can see it globally through your smart TVs and your Roku devices, right? All you
as
have
well
to do,
as if you have what Cox.
Yeah, Cox, right?
Fire Stick.
Right, Fire Stick, right? So you go to your television, right?
Right.
And your smart TV or your Roku device, and you download the YouTube and the Vimeo app. Then you search, once you download those apps, you search Lordland Films, and all of it comes up, and you can watch it. You know, you can watch it. Also, if you're on your phone, or on your laptop, or on your PC, or your Mac, you can just dial in vimeo.com/showcase/BY by Crazy Dee, CRAY DEE, and you will be able to watch it right there on your phone, your laptop, and like I said, globally through your smart TVs and your Roku devices. What's going on, Jermaine?
Hey, Jermaine.
Thanks for checking in. So that's that. So we have the various shows, so you can pick which show. You come on as an advertiser, like Sharon did for TC's Barbecue Crib.
Right.
You come on as an advertiser. You can advertise on this show right here, the Film Review podcast, the Film Review Bars, where it's 10 minutes. I told you about that. The Film Review Music Review Show, where we're showing different artists from around the globe doing their thing, right, with dope music that we believe should be seen, heard, recognized, and appreciated in Hollywood movies. Yes, sir. And that's what we push. And believe you me, the Hollywood directors and film producers do watch and listen. Hey, what's going on, Tanya Congress?
Hey, Tanya.
Let's see. Also, the last show is right now. The last show, because we got more coming. On the Road, the Film Review On the Road, where we interview people who are moving the political, social culture along in the society, and we just put one up featuring Rodney Smith, who interviews candidates field manager here, and that's up right now, and you can see that right there on the YouTube channel. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because certain things we diversify across, and then we have the global situation, but other things we diversify over the internet. And right there you go to Crazon Dion, youtube.com/Crazon Dion, CRAYZONDEEYON, all one word, and you can watch all that, right? So it's many different places and many different platforms where you can watch the Film Review Music Review Show. I love the bars segments. Oh, thank you,
Tanya. I do too. It's one of my favorites also.
Yeah. We're running through and making sure that we're getting people seen, heard, recognized, and appreciated. That's what we do. All right. So we went through all that, and we told you. So welcome to our first advertiser, which is TC's Barbecue Crib. And we'll be giving more information on that. But May 30th is the second edition of the Film Review Music Review Show, and we have people from all around the country that have submitted in to have their music played, right? And so we're going to be running that list down, that Sunday after it debuts. Because we're going to talk about it, because we want everybody to tune in. It's global, like I said. One more time before we move on and start the review officially. One more time, you can see it globally through your smart TVs and your Roku devices by downloading the YouTube app and the Vimeo app, whichever flavor you want, whichever platform you use the most, is the one that you would use to watch, right? Then when you download those platforms onto your smart TV or your Roku devices, then you search Lordland Films, LORDLANDFILMS, all one word, and it comes up, and you can watch all the various all the various programming that we have, because it is extensive. It is. Right. So now that we have that out the way, introducing our TC's Barbecue Crib, our first advertiser coming on with us.
So
and
if you're in town, or when you come to Vegas from out of town,
make sure that's the first stop
you
come to.
Right, you will not be disappointed.
You make sure you get your
everything.
You get your Uber, or Lyft, and you make sure that you get Uber and Lyfted out to TC's Barbecue Crib.
Nice restaurant, great atmosphere. You can sit and chill and enjoy your meal with Sharon's wonderful staff.
That's right.
They're real cool and down to earth. Her menu is extensive. The food is delicious. The desserts are wonderful. It's hard to choose just one.
The desserts are to live for.
Like, you want to stick to one dessert, but it's just hard narrowing down to one. And then just everything. Chicken, seafood, ribs, beef, just everything. And so many sides and vegetables and salads, and if you're a vegetarian, there's something there for you also. So.
And finally, if you're interested in advertising with us, inbox me on the Crazy Dee page on Facebook, or you can inbox me on Instagram, or you can send me an email at lordlandenterprises@hotmail.com. That's lordlandenterprises@hotmail.com. We have various packages, and they are very affordable, and they will get you globally seen, heard, recognized, and appreciated, because that's what we do here at the Film Review. All right, so the first film, we're not going to even beat around the bush. Also today, let me say one more thing. Also today is B. Tim's birthday.
Oh, happy
fellow
birthday.
Gemini.
B. Tim's, happy birthday.
And Nathaniel, I just say Nathan. Nathan Scott, 3 days before one day before mine, on the 23rd, his birthday fell. He's one of the actors in the Black Eyes Chronicles.
Oh,
so
happy belated
birthday to him. So, all the Geminis, from the 21st through the 20th? Or is it the 20th through the 21st of June? May 20th through the 21st of June, however it falls. All those Geminis, enjoy your day.
And then Shanine Hicks, one of the Film Review members, birthday is coming up.
So
June
we're gonna be saying that
15th.
with her. So believe me, I enjoy my my birthday, because I believe
and all
in,
the love you.
Yeah, I believe in giving service on my birthday, and we were out there, and you never know what's happening until you get out there, because we're like in there always grinding out and editing out. So I wanted to get out and see and meet new artists, and boy, I'm telling you, it was a great situation with the Bars Part 2, which is now playing globally. Right, so you can see that by again doing what I said. So again, happy birthday to all the Geminis. It's B. Tim's birthday today. You know what I'm saying? Formerly of the Bomb Squad, but he is the engineer at the radio station Power 88, and he does his thing. Cool dude. So we want to say happy birthday to him.
Ohio family member.
That's right. He does come from Dayton, Ohio, the home of the funk. Where funk originated. That's right. That's right. So never forget, Ohio is the place, Dayton in particular, where funk was originated.
Speaking of that, you brought in your birthday at TC's.
Sure did.
That was fun. And then we met other artists. Media people, artists. Who was there? Miss Michelle.
Yeah, Miss Michelle was there. That's right.
Matter of fact, you have an interview with her.
Yeah. I interviewed her on her platform.
Right.
So Miss Michelle Boykins.
Yep. Treese Nicole.
That's right.
She was there.
And she was there.
As well as Shantae
and Eddie. And Eddie Bell. That's right.
They're Let's Go Get It.
Let's Go to Work Entertainment.
Let's Go to Work Entertainment.
Yeah.
With their beautiful family.
Yeah. They were. Everyone was there.
Yeah.
Taking in this event.
Yeah, it was a lot of
and all the artists and all that. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
We appreciate what you do.
Yeah. Precious Marks was there.
Yeah.
Franklyn G was there.
Franklyn G. Yeah.
Everybody
Franklyn G
was
came.
enjoying the food at TC's.
Right.
Which is delicious.
Yeah. So it was just a great time all the way around.
Tanya says the home of funk. Yep,
That's
Tanya,
right.
you're right. Ohio.
That's right. Dayton, Ohio, the home of the funk.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, without further ado, after we got through all of that, we're going to start with Aladdin. Okay? Aladdin. Look. Aladdin. Well, we're going to run through. We're going to break down the different
Let's start
things.
off with cinematography. Go ahead.
Okay, let's start off with, first of all, let's talk about who stars in Aladdin first. Let's go there. Let's start with the cast of Aladdin.
One of the greatest stars in the world.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
That's right.
Naomi Scott. Mena Musa, Nassim Padred, Marwan Kenzari, Billy Meganuson. Great cast. It was a great cast. As well as the cute little monkey. What was his name? Abu, yes.
That's right.
He starred in the movie too. He played a major role in the film. Abu. Adorable.
Sure did.
The audience loved Abu.
Yes, they did. And I mean, for him to be a CGI created character, you wouldn't know it.
Yeah, I thought he was real.
I mean, because his facial expressions, the only thing that gives it away is the facial expressions, because the facial expressions are more human-like.
Okay.
So that was good.
See, he was so good. I didn't even know. I thought he was a trained little monkey.
Trained monkey, yeah.
Right.
I mean, I would have thought. I mean, anybody that's looking at it would have thought so.
They did, yeah, because he didn't look made up. He didn't look cartoonish or animated at all. Hey, Nikki Rich.
Hey, what's going on, Nikki? Thanks for chiming in. You know, Nikki Rich is OWN network ambassador, and she just was showing us around the OWN network because they had the OWN network. I know they call them a certain name, but they're like OWN ambassadors, and she showed us around, because she's high there on the totem pole at OWN. So thanks for chiming in.
And we love OWN. I'm looking forward to Queen Sugar. Be starting up soon.
Yeah, and then of course Ayala.
Oh, love her. Love Ayala Vizan.
Yeah, Ayala Vizan. Yeah. So, save my life. I mean, or spare my life, or help me with my life.
we love
that. And then what's another show that we like on there?
Oh, everything. I love the show with when they're in Alabama.
Greenleaf.
I love Greenleaf too, but the newer show, and I'm waiting for season 2.
It's a reality show.
The reality show
about them being realtors.
Yes, I love that show.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Oh,
good.
she said it sounds like Yes, there we go. Iyanla Vanzant.
Iyanla, see, that's right.
Yes.
Give it to me, Iyanla.
Yes.
I mean, I remember one time she was on with Basden. This was years back. And Basden could not pronounce her name wrong, and she corrected him because a person's name is like platinum and gold to them, and so you shouldn't mispronounce a person's name, right? So so OWN.
And then the have and the have nots.
Oh yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, we're plugged into OWN network. We love OWN. She says, yes, I like the realtor show too. Yeah, me too. I love that show.
The OWN, women. The have and the have nots. And then what's the other Tyler Perry show? It's really over the top. They came back for the season.
If loving you is wrong.
Yeah. I mean, that's really over the top. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You have to really be like, oh wow.
She said, woohoo.
So we're starting with Aladdin today.
Yes.
Because Okay, so we went through the cast of Aladdin before we got off talking about OWN for a minute, right?
Yeah. Cinematography.
The cinematography on Aladdin, right? What'd she say?
She says, "Yep, if loving you is wrong," she said, "is the best."
Okay. So, the cinematography.
Okay.
The angles that are used to tell the story of Aladdin.
Right.
The way that it introduces you to the two main characters, Aladdin and the princess. From the very beginning, they open up and there's and there's a sequence of events that take place, right? And within the cinematography, I know you've heard us talk about it. At the time when the movie came out, we were not doing the film review, but the film Idlewild. You've seen it. You've heard us talk about Idlewild before, right? And Idlewild used this technology where they pulled the image out of the original image. This is the first time I ever saw it. And also they used the type of CGI After Effects where they made the motion and things be at two different speeds. Like the background, foreground will be doing something and the background will be doing something else. Well,
if you haven't seen Idlewild, speaking of that,
you have to see
it. Starring Andre and Big Boy from Outkast.
That's right, because it has everything in it.
Yes.
That
cinematographically beautiful.
Yes.
It's just beautiful.
I mean, it has everything in it that you want to see in a film. It has the storyline. It has the gunplay in it, and it's a musical
drama, action, and then the cast. See, we were talking about Idlewild, but the cast is amazing. With Terrence Howard is in it. Paula Patton, Macy Gray. I'm sure I'm leaving out a bunch of other people.
Big Boy, of course.
Yep, Andre,
it's Outkast. Andre. Macy Gray is in it. Patti LaBelle is in it.
She sure is.
That's right. I mean, it's an all-star cast. It is a classic.
It is a classic.
It's a musical gangster picture.
Yeah. Drama, love story.
It's all mixed.
Yep. Nikki says,
together.
"Wow, awesome." Yes, you have to see Idlewild.
I mean, Idlewild is incredible.
Yeah.
It is worth.
It's a period piece, also.
Yeah, it's a period piece.
It takes place. Is it in the 20s?
It could be 20s, 30s.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it is just an incredible piece, well worth seeing. But anyway, we got off on that tangent because
cinematography.
The cinematography, because in this movie starring Will Smith, Aladdin, the cinematography, what they're doing to tell the story between initially the princess and Aladdin, who don't know who each other is. Right. There's motion, like there's people who are trying to chase, and they're in slow motion, and
it's beautiful.
And they're moving in the foreground. The princess and Aladdin are moving in regular speed. It's beautifully shot.
Yeah, it is.
Okay?
It is.
A beautifully shot piece, right?
Yeah.
Now, along with that, the colors in the film.
Yeah, it's so vivid, beautiful.
Beautifully
like
done.
A Disney film.
Like a Disney film.
Yeah, just beautiful.
But I think Guy Ritchie
he
has outdone himself in this particular movie.
Because actually, while we were sitting there and the credits were rolling by, and I saw that Guy Ritchie was the director, I said, okay, this is going to be an amazing Disney film. Because anybody that, if you know his work, is similar to the style. That's why we thought about Idlewild. He did the film Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. He did Snatch. He did Rock and Roller. And those films, were visually beautiful as well. So his style is amazing. So when I saw his name on the screen, I said, okay, this is going to be unlike any other Disney film.
Thanks, Pamela, for chiming in and watching.
Hey, Pam. Yeah, and it definitely was unlike any other Disney film. I mean, cinematography is crazy. And the costume design is beautiful, just visually beautiful. Like the colors. So vivid, you know, throughout. So just
you will already be taken on a ride with the cinematography alone, right? Yeah. And then what's the next one?
We said costume design, which is visually beautiful. The colors, the way they pop in the slow motion, and just
I mean the way that they transform, the way that they use the transformative power of the genie on Aladdin, and how they transfer him and his initial wear, and what it changes into
multiple times.
Nice. I mean, very well done.
And then the directing, we mentioned Guy Ritchie.
Okay, now it's one thing about a good director. Right. A good director can pull out of an actor. They can get the actor to emote on the screen. Do not think that this is just a children's film.
It's not.
It is. I would say it's PG, right?
Yeah, it's PG.
It's G, really, but it's PG because there is some things in there that are
might go over kids' head.
Might go over kids' head, but the adults will get it, right? But the way that there's a scene. There are a few scenes that are heartbreaking in Aladdin, right? Yeah. And you'll sit up there and saying they are putting together and they are acting in this what would be considered a children's film, but they are bringing A1 acting. There's a scene that happens closer to the conclusion of the film with Will Smith and the Aladdin character, and the way that they emote, and then the woman who plays the princess, she emotes in it. I mean, and Aladdin, I mean, it's just, and you see the transformation of Aladdin as he goes through and has a decision to make concerning word, and that's what we'll say about that. What's next?
Film and do we do story? We talked about the story.
Okay, now the story, the narrative. The story is about Aladdin, so you're introduced to Aladdin doing what he does, right? In the marketplace. Right. He's introduced to this mystery woman, and then the action kicks off from there. And we're not going to give any spoilers. We want you to go see the film because it is well worth seeing.
It brings the cartoon to life.
Way more than what a cartoon can do.
Because when I saw the previews, I said, okay, this is going to be a good film. I said, okay, Will Smith is in it. We're in. We're going to see it. You know, Will Smith is in it. Like, Will Smith is a great actor. So when his name is on the marquee, we automatically, we're in. We go see all of his films. We've seen all of his films, every film. So I knew that this was going to be a nice ride. But I'm telling you, Aladdin, excellent. Excellent. The story, like you said, the story is amazing. It's even, I mean, they really brought this cartoon to life. So the film and editing was amazing.
Okay, now the film and editing.
Amazing. Hey, Roland.
Hey, what's going on, Roland? Thanks for chiming in.
Yeah.
The way that they show you the large angle shots when there's crowds, when there are multiple people, thousands of people, I'll say, in the marketplace and around within the castle walls and outside the castle walls. Beautifully done. The way that they show you the desert. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Roland. Yeah. Thanks for the birthday wishes too. Thanks. The way that they do that. You know, Roland, by the way, people, is in the Black Ice Chronicles, well, The Preacher's Life. He plays Rocco in The Preacher's Life. And you can see that's playing globally too. Like I said, you go to your smart TV or your Roku devices and you download You download the YouTube or the Vimeo app, and then you search Lordland Films, and you'll be able to watch that. That's up. The Preacher's Life. All the installments are up so far, with more installments coming. And he plays Rocco, and when you see it, you will see why he's, you know, I consider him one of my one of my best actors.
Yeah, he is.
You know what I'm saying?
He says, "You're welcome, brother."
Oh, thank you.
He said, along with
Algie and Stu.
Because Roland, we're talking about Aladdin, and we talked about like Will Smith is like one of the actors. When we see his name on the marquee, he's gonna be starring in something. We're in, because we know his acting is good. Roland emotes also on film.
That's right.
He's also a really, really great actor. He is excellent. Like in all of the different Black Ice Chronicle films, yeah, from the test reads to different characters, he embodies each character. So yeah, like people like Roland, people like Will Smith in this film, Aladdin, he killed it. And Will Smith emotes too, like we were saying how Roland can emote on film.
Right.
And so I know that the director of this film, Guy Ritchie, when he saw that he would be working with Will Smith, he was like, okay, that's gonna be easy work, because Will is a great actor. So the storyline was just smooth. The cast.
The film and the editing process of how they kept the pacing. There was no doldrums in this film.
From beginning to end. Moving. The credits rolled through the beginning, right, with action.
It was definitely the hero's journey.
Yeah.
Finding his place, where he is. Right. His call to action.
Yep.
Which is different the way that it's put together in film. His call to action happens over something that he has in his possession that he didn't think that he would still have in his possession. And then it goes on from there, and then he gets into places that are uncomfortable, then he meets new allies, and then it moves through the whole hero's journey while being an ensemble piece. So it's well put together.
The hair, the makeup, excellent. Like Will Smith as the Blue Genie, his makeup was nice.
The CGI, the
CGI
after
was
effects,
amazing. Yeah, the
special effects,
all of that
within the film editing.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Like you told me, Abu, I was surprised because I thought the little monkey Abu was an actual acting monkey.
Right.
So he was so cute and adorable, and he just looked so real. Like the CGI is amazing.
So we are glad to say that though the trailer is an excellent trailer, it does not do justice to the film.
Right.
Like the trailer is good.
It's good.
And it definitely makes you want to go see the film.
The movie is way
But the film is way better. You should take groups of people, children. There's something in the film for everyone.
Yeah.
What did Roland say?
Roland says, "I'm touched." He said, "Thank y'all for the compliments." Oh yeah, man. Welcome, but it's the truth, you know.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing the next films that you're in.
Yeah.
You know, coming up.
Yeah.
You know, I see that you're in a picture about a prison.
So
we want to definitely see when that comes out. We want to see those films come out and actually support and actually see.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
Teresa Nicole.
Yeah, we're in the middle of talking about Aladdin.
Yeah.
But we're not giving any spoilers.
Yeah, we're not giving any spoilers.
We're staring strictly towards technique and style of making of the film. Yeah. So because we want people to go out and see this film. This is how good
it is.
This film is.
The music is amazing. Not be bored. And I love how because I was Treese was at TC's, matter of fact, you know, and so the music in this film is amazing. I love how they incorporated. Not only is it a Disney film, they incorporated our culture in it too. Like Will Smith, like you have a little, you know.
Okay, we're gonna get because that comes down the line, right?
Oh yeah, that's where we are. Music,
okay, music, okay.
Yeah, so the hip hop was incorporated in along with the jazz, and then the Arabian music as well. It's just excellent and well done.
Well done, and you know, with Guy Ritchie films, it is a multicultural cast.
Always his
So it's not like what you would see where you usually go to a movie,
right?
And you're seeing, if you watch the old movies, like the old Cleopatra movies or the old movies like that, the Egyptian movies from way back in the past,
right.
Or even today, like some of the stuff that they have done when they misappropriate culture, you will see black folks as only the slaves.
Right.
This is not the case in this film.
No.
Right? So it's multicultural. You see all different groups of people.
Yep.
And the music and the dance numbers, the musical
amazing.
Numbers,
yeah.
the way that it transcends from the action into the musical openings. When Aladdin is introduced as the prince,
yes.
coming into the city, beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, Will Smith is on the top of his game.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, I'm telling you, like this, like it's called Aladdin, but it's really Will Smith.
It is.
Because, you know, we're going to see it this week. Therese said, happy Sunday, y'all. She said, we're going to see it this week. Yeah, definitely go see it. It's well worth it. Take a group of people with you and go see it in 3D.
Yeah.
3D, like we see a lot of the films that come and they come in 3D. We see them. 3D is more subtle today. It's not like it coming straight at you.
Right.
It's more like it's you'll see the grass, and the grass is right there at you. It's like you're right there. Or you'll see the water, and the water is right there. It's right there, but it's not coming at you, but it's right there, as if you can reach out and touch it. It's like, I mean, that's how good it is as well. And the dance numbers. So we can't give you too much because we want you to see the film.
Yeah, it's amazing. The production design is just beautiful. The set just beautiful.
Sets.
It's as if you are in
Flawless.
in the Arabian time period, during that period. Like everything, just beautiful. Just the architecture.
And it gives you like in the very beginning, the opening, as they take you through and they introduce you to the city first,
right,
before they take you into the castle. Check out the different clues that they give you, and all throughout the movie you'll be feeling the same way. There's an opening situation between two animals, a bird and a tiger,
right,
and this will make you be feeling this all the way through the film. You'll be like, it sounds like an amazing rendition of Aladdin. Oh yeah, 3D. Tracy sold me on that, laughing out loud. That was Therese. So what else do we have?
We said the writing was excellent.
Okay, the script, beautifully done. There are situations within the film that you know had to be written into the film. It wasn't like an ad-lib type of thing. The relationships, the romantic relationship, there's multiple ones going on. Right? Beautifully done. The way that they open with... Oh,
that's my favorite part. So don't tell that part.
No, as they open up with Will Smith as narrator.
Right. So
he narrates.
And the way, the beginning of the film, when he narrates, is just beautiful.
Beautifully done.
Beautifully done.
Because as he narrates, then you start to be introduced to this area and to the world. And I mean, it's beautifully done. I mean, it's nothing more we can really say about it.
All I kept saying was, this is the best Disney film that I have ever seen. Like, Will Smith print is definitely on this film. Like, it's a Will Smith film. Like, I mean, it was well done. All of the actors were great. The directing was great, but it was great. The audience was there. What did we hear as we when we was in the car? We said this theater is gonna be packed because people love Will Smith. And sure enough, we get out the car, we're walking, and we hear this family, right? Mm-hmm. And they talked about the film. They said they were talking about the film, And is there enough seats? Is it still open? Is it, they were having a conversation, and further down, you're another family. And both of these were like two different white families, and they were all talking about this film. And Will Smith,
I tried to get it, but it was sold out. She said, we got ours on one of the film ticket
so everybody
delivery places. Right?
So and these were like adults.
So
like,
Will
I didn't
Smith,
even see any children around. So, but it's just that Will Smith, his name draws in like adults.
There were children in there.
Yeah, there were children, but the conversation in the parking lot were all
adults.
grown ups. So it's all adults.
Arguably, Aladdin is a newcomer. So I think we've seen the princess in certain things, but basically she's a newcomer.
Yeah, Jasmine is a newcomer.
Right. So,
she's not like as old as Cinderella and Snow White.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Will Smith though is the draw to this film.
He is the draw.
Will Smith will take time off to go skydive or go bungee jump in the Grand Canyon and do things with his family. Yeah. And I remember when we first came out here, and I was we were working with actors. We had done the 48-hour film festival. Right. So we said, that was a success. Right. And I said, it wasn't my production, but I acted in it as Crime Boss #1. Right. It's called The Boss. If you ever go go to YouTube, and search The Boss film, 48-hour film project, The Boss, and you watch that, I'm Crime Boss 1, and we've talked about that before. But afterwards I said, well, let me incorporate some of the actors that were there. Marilyn Wyman, who has passed on, who she was in a lot of different films, right? But that particular one lives on, and then the one she did with me, which is in season 6 of the Black Ice Chronicles, that lives on, called Meet Mama Banks. That one lives on. But a lot of the films don't live on because the people don't put it out, or it just becomes their own personal thing. Whatever happens there, but she's remembered for those 2 films. And so I said, well, let me use some of the actors. And I remember one of the actors, who is a Elvis impersonator, was sitting at the table with us as we were going over our script for the Black Ice Chronicles, and he was talking about Will Smith, because Will Smith had that movie out.
Which one?
The movie with his son. With him and his
that
son.
Was a good film.
It was a real good film.
M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan. Couldn't find it was an M. Night Shyamalan film, but they was trying. It was like he's trying to bring his son along, and I'm like, what is wrong?
And so did Clint Eastwood, and who else? So many other Charlie the Sheen family, and I
found out that there is a lot of jealousy
towards Will Smith.
Towards his family. So Will Smith and the industry somewhat had that too. And they would do certain things where they slow you down.
Right.
So Will Smith then started, to me, as I looked at it, started to then go off and started to take those breaks.
Well, after 9 Pounds, which was an excellent film, if you haven't seen 9 Pounds, I think that's like one of the best films that I've seen Will Smith in.
That's where you really see him his facial
emoting, And after 9 Pounds, he said that film took a lot out of him, and he said he was gonna take a break, because by then he had did so many films back to back, and then he did take a break, and he went on vacation, like he said, and to see the world and the bungee jumping and all of that, and then he came back with that DC film.
Yeah, he came back with the DC film.
With the Suicide Squad.
And I don't believe that the Suicide Squad, because they have a new one and they're not waiting for him, because Will Smith is out doing Aladdin, and he's coming out with Gemini,
which is gonna be good,
right? So he was working on those films, and he probably said, well, I want to take a break, or maybe he's got some other films already in pre-production or already in post, and he's working on editing or getting those done. Doing the ADR on that, so there's a lot of post work in big films, right? And so maybe he might be taking a break, or maybe schedules didn't align and say, well, can you wait for me, or or the new director that came on probably didn't want to wait.
Well, what I like about it, they
really
offered his role to
Idris Elba.
And Idris Elba said no.
Right?
So they created another character for Idris Elba, so that way that leaves the door open for Will Smith to come back if there's a three.
Right.
But the movie with Will Smith and his son together by M. Night Shyamalan is called After Earth, and that was done in 2013.
That's right, and it's in that film is showing how a father who is injured has faith in his son to be able to rescue them, and that's what the film is about. It's a coming of age film,
right?
Which everyone likes a coming of age film. Maybe you should go watch the film before you start talking about so-called quote-unquote nepotism.
Yeah, but but see, that was just his because the Bridge family, the Bridges with Lloyd Bridges and I can't think.
All the Bridges.
But it's a lot of other Hollywood
just not
families.
Todd.
Not Todd. Yeah. But I mean, there's just so many Hollywood families, and when he said that, I'm looking at him like, okay, but it's okay for all of the other families, like the Drew Barrymore, the Barrymore family.
I mean, that is deep family,
right? So
there.
It's okay for if there's like tons of other families in Hollywood, but you have a problem with Will Smith and his son in the film together. Are you kidding me?
What I don't like.
I'm glad that not to cut you off, but I'm glad that Denzel's son is acting. I would love to see them in the film together.
Yeah. What I don't like about what's happening with the free-spirited thought processes going on with, like, his son saying that now he's married to a rapper.
Tyler the Creator.
Yeah, Tyler the Creator saying that they're married. That ends dynasty. Because where are the children gonna come from to keep going?
Well, he could have kids because he's not. Jaden is a free spirit. So, but prior to him dating Tyler the Creator, he had a girlfriend.
But
so who knows if he gets married and have a
that going, you have to be married. They have to have that name and say that this is coming out there. So in a way, it helps to end.
Well, he's young, and like I said, there's time. He's real young.
It may be just
so he may get right. So he may get married to some woman, and then they have a bunch of kids. So you never know. He's young.
Well, hopefully, that's what I'm saying. That's the only thing I don't like is that.
And then Will has another son too.
Yeah, he has another son.
Right, Trey. Right. So.
But it's the lineage.
And a daughter.
But see, there's a lineage of acting. Right. And being a performance that's coming through, right? And so that's just something. That's just a little sidebar. But other than that, people do whatever they like. You know what I'm saying? Live your life. But it just seems like if they can't stop it one way, they'll find another way to stop it. You know what I mean? With what they're pumping in the media. But anyway, just thinking about that. But
Aladdin is amazing.
Aladdin is amazing.
You have to go see it.
Like
the
film.
A in Aladdin stands for amazing. I thought about that when we left the theater. I was like, you said, awesome, amazing. You have to go see it because this is not just a kids' film. Like we said, there were children there too, but then there were also like adults, who just bought tickets, and it was just a bunch of adults in the theater together enjoying.
Now you've seen Aladdin the cartoon. Everything that's in the Aladdin cartoon. Oh my! What's going on here? Oh,
it's the grand.
What's in the Aladdin film is in it. So when you see
plus so much more
floating and so much more, right? So what would you rate the film?
Oh please, 10 plus 10 plus. Definitely a 10. I would give it an A rating because it's an excellent film. Like, just the storyline, the acting, the music, just, like, it's a lot of stuff in there. We didn't want to give any spoilers. So it's just, like, just a little, you have to go see it.
Yeah, watch for the intricate details within the 3D. You will be amazed.
There's just one thing that I have to say is there's an amazing scene that kind of gave me the same feel that I loved in Eddie Murphy's film Coming to America. That huge, beautiful scene with just, you get a little taste of that a little bit in Aladdin, this one scene in Aladdin that's just amazing and beautiful. You talked about it a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. You have to go see this film. You
have to go see it. All right, so for me, Cinematography 10.
Yeah.
Wardrobe 10.
Yeah.
Design
Everything.
10.
Just 10.
Writing 10. Everything's 10.
Yes.
Everything is coming up 10.
Yeah.
Right? So Aladdin is a 10. Go out there and see it. Make sure you see it in 3D. You have to see it in 3D. Now, we just came off of watching this film. Well, let's go with
Spike Lee's
She's Got to Have It Season 2.
Yes.
Viewer discretion is advised. Right? After season one, if for people who hadn't seen She's Got to Have It.
Right.
She's Got to Have It is Spike Lee's second thesis film, which actually was turned into a film that actually went to the theaters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She's Got to Have It. What's the character's name? Nola
Darling.
Nola Darling. That's right. So Nola Darling is a free-spirited person who believes in what men can do,
Right.
women can do. This is the whole process, the whole thought process of the film. So she has multiple men that she is involved with, 4 in particular, right? Including the character that Spike Lee embodies called Mars.
Yeah.
Then there's a person who believes in dressing, dressing and being basically before the title of Metro Man, he was a Metro Man, and he dressed. And then there's Greer, yeah. And then there's other characters that come into the life. There's a Frenchman. Well, I'm just going through the story first of the original piece. There's a guy who's a black. All these people that she's involved with, all these men are black men. There's one that seems like he's from France, and so she's involved with all these different men.
That was season 1, right?
No. We're talking about the movie right now.
Oh, we're in the movie. Okay.
Season 1.
Okay.
And then so, she's stringing these men along, and after a while, it begins.
She's not stringing the men along.
Yeah, because each one wants her to proclaim him to be the one.
But she
and it's even a rivalry between them. And say, well, I'm going to be the one that gets it. I'm going to be the one who gets her to say that I'm the one. And so they have this rivalry. And then there is in the original film, there is a frustration that happens with one of the characters.
Right.
And he gets so frustrated that he decides to come in and take from Nola what she ultimately gives freely, but she didn't feel like giving it to him that day. So it's a rape scene within the original piece. Right?
You know what's so... Go ahead. What's so funny about Spike Lee's very first film, we're talking about it, She's Gotta Have It. And when I was in the 10th grade or 11th grade, I can't even remember, but I remember my English teacher was she was an older black woman, and I remember she came to class that Monday and she was so excited. She was like, "Oh, I can't wait till you guys hear about this young black director. Me and my husband, we went to New York for the weekend for his premiere. We donated towards this project." You know, she was an older black woman in the arts. You know, we donated towards this project. You're gonna love it. But of course, she couldn't tell us about the film. I see why now. But she just was so proud of him. And now, just fast forwarding it to today. And when I was able to see when She's Gotta Have It, I guess I had to be a senior, maybe. I guess junior. So whenever it came out,
I saw that. I saw that after I saw School Days, though.
Okay,
I saw School Days.
Okay.
Before I saw She's Got to Have It.
Okay, so I saw She's Gotta Have It as soon as it hit the theater, because I was like, oh, this is what my teacher talked about, you know. And but yeah, just to see the excitement. Hey, Shanine.
Hey, what's going on, Shanine? Thanks for chiming in. And Therese says about our last subject about nepotism. Aaron Spelling family, Kirk Douglas family, Gary Marshall's family, and many more Hollywood families.
Right.
You know, no one says anything about them.
But as soon as this black man and his family, there's a
so
problem.
go back to your movie. I like that story.
Oh yeah, but yeah. So when it came out, I was excited about seeing this film because I remember my teacher telling me about this film in all my life. This is the first time I have ever. Hey, Shani. This is my first time ever having a black English teacher, and it was English literature, and it was either the junior or senior year. And she just loved this. She said she just was just like, I love this filmmaker, and Spike is so because they were able to like meet him or something. I don't know if she was originally from New York, if she knew his family or whatever, but the connection that she had and the money that they invested in the film and everything she said was true. So I don't think she's alive today because at the time she was like in her late 60s, early 70s, because I remember she had retired. Yeah. But she came back to teach because she enjoyed working with her students. Oh, Shani said junior year. And she enjoyed working with the students, so she came back. And so, so whenever I see when this came back out, the part 2, season 2, I always think about her when any of the She's Gotta Have It films come out.
See, this is why, this is like a history, and it was so many people. When I was in junior high school, we were being taught by teachers that had PhDs. These people, and I remember we had one English teacher, and the kids used to be, and I've told this story about going to Catholic school, and the difference is how noisy the classrooms were in junior high school. But when I got to Catholic school, everything was quiet, and it took me a minute. It's like one of those things where it goes, and I say, it's quiet. Then I was able to focus in on my work. But this woman was teaching us, and she had a PhD. People coming from Cleveland, we were blessed to have the corridor from the Playhouse all the way down to the the State Theater, the Hannah, all that. Then in between there are the hospital districts, right? So Cleveland is entertainment, and it's either entertainment as far as the classical entertainment, I would say, theater, ballet, orchestra,
Severance Hall,
right? And then you have the hospitals, right? So it's colleges. So for black people primarily it's churches. Then there's the entertainment,
hospitals,
and then the hospitals, and that's what
schools.
And the school,
tons of colleges.
I mean, the school, that's all within that district, right? Yeah. So that those colleges taught for the hospitals,
right?
Producing doctors, or producing lawyers, and, all the way from the Cleveland Playhouse, right? Or no, the play. It's not the Cleveland Playhouse was down there, and then down there is the theater district. So you went from the Cleveland Playhouse, then you had Severance Hall, then you go down a little bit further, then you have Cleveland State University,
and which is where Spike Lee's uncle, Dr. Mims,
Dr. Mims taught. That's
State.
Right. And then in between, so we had the chance to be around people who were in the arts, who were trained and and it just goes to show how many and how much training you had to have, how much greater you had to be in those positions. And we're being taught by people who had PhDs. They could be doing something else. People who had books out already. They never told us about that because they thought we wouldn't be interested. But you find this out later when you get to college, and you find out that person that was teaching me actually had a book out that was in the college. You say,
wow. Right? He came from Caribou.
Ron O'Neal came from Caribou. You got to think Caribou, the Black Theater District, right? So we got all this going on, and to look at this now, like I look at the teaching out here, just here, because I'm sure it's all over the country, but you've got people who only have bachelor's degrees.
Is that
and out here? No, I'm just talking about around the country. They are letting inexperienced, fearful people who probably party in college you should at least have a master's degree before you
They talk
even
about
start
giving
to
some of
teach
these
kids.
teachers guns.
No, but I'm saying, but you should at least have a a master's going on a PhD before you teach black children. And we should have at least 70% black teachers that are master degreed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you know, not because that's some kind of penalty, but that's because that's what we saw. We saw people. We were taught by people with PhDs. You know what I'm saying? And you can't tell me somebody with a bachelor's degree that partied all the time and say, "Well, I'm just going to go teach." They got a degree in liberal.
Never been around black kids before.
They got a degree in liberal arts, and they're going to go teach kids. And then you want to hand them guns, right?
The thing that scares me is just about every other day, you read a story about a teacher who called a child out of their name, called them, hey Mark.
Hey, what's going on, Mark? Thanks for chiming in.
Called a child out of their name, you know, a racist name, and then they're talking about giving teachers guns. Shanine says, John Hayes has programs with the University Hospital, of science and medicine. Javante graduated in architecture and design and interned with the first black architectural firm in Cleveland.
See,
See,
so we are surrounded, and besides that, then we have the whole hip hop thing going on, and people who have been in it for 30 or some more years that have built infrastructure in the city to build the hip hop situation. So we got it.
Mark says checking out the vibe.
Oh, thanks, Mark. Thanks. Thanks for chiming in.
Yeah.
But so teachers should have at least a master's degree to teach.
To deal with these kids, because I need to know that you are invested
In my children.
In education.
That's right.
That you really, really went to school for this, and that you're not doing this as like a fallback, because our children are important. And they're talking about giving these teachers guns. Are you kidding me?
Especially since Trump now has moved in to sign paperwork so that the federal involvement in schools can be pulled out, right? So the federal involvement was the teeth that made it possible for civil rights to make it equal and not segregated, right?
Right.
To make it not separate, but equal, but make it so it was equal across the board. Right. And they've been gradually chipping away from it. So we need the teachers that are in the school systems to be invested in the children, because we had white teachers that were invested also, but they came through a different time period. They came through the anti-war period. They came through the civil rights period, and those were the ones. And so the ones that are being brought in now, they don't seem to have the aptitude.
Or like
to teach black children.
Shanine says, yeah, that's true. She says no passion equals trouble. That's true.
That's true.
Like those teachers back then, like you said, even the white teachers I had were invested, like, in the kids. Like, I can't even remember any.
But if you don't have culture,
right?
And culture has to do with, not to mention what we just said already, but we had museums,
right?
We had the art museum, the history museum. Right?
And the schools made sure you went.
You made sure you went. And it was because we didn't know then, but those were endowments and grants that were given to do it. Then once they started pulling the grants and the endowments away, then they say, well, you have to pay for your kid to go. And most parents, they say, well, I'm not going to pay for my kid to go, so you don't get the culture.
What is the observatory?
Yeah, the science, see the stars, see the universe.
Yeah.
So especially people who are down south, right?
Who
they are not investing in science and culture, and right, and they're not investing in that. Then then you see why everything is haywire, because they believe that the Earth is flat for some reason and not round, right? All these other things. Not to get into the weeds of anything, but if you don't have culture, and that means when you learn as a black person that most of the classical stuff came from us.
Right.
The way that people dress, the haberdasheries come from us. The way that England came from out of the Europe period, how Europe came from out of Europe because black people came in and taught them how to clean, stand upright, shave, and do all that. Then you learn that everything came from us anyway. So when you hear the classical music, go see the classical music. When you see the ballet, go see the ballet. When you go to the sciences, go to science, because astronomy and all that came from us first.
But see, you know what the trick to all of that is, so for all of these red state people and the people who are against, these different programs for children in the public schools, and so now I'm talking about like the white parents who may be Trump supporters, right, and want to get rid of all of these programs, and their children are in public school. See, what they're not realizing is it doesn't matter if it's a black poor, white poor, Latino poor, Asian poor. Yeah, they'll cut those programs, but those same Republicans will have their children in wealthy schools, and they'll be in all of the programs. The wealthy schools, they'll have like the arts, they'll have the sports, they'll have the sciences. They'll keep that going.
That's true.
The wealthy, but the poor, they don't want them to be well-rounded.
But they've been retarded too because they're not taught.
Yeah, but they are voluntarily retarded because they have.
No. The parents are volunteering their children to be retarded.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Because they're not taught. They're not taught culture. Culture is in a city environment, an inner city environment, right? That's where culture
diversity.
is built, right?
Yeah.
Not diversity, because diversity has to do with
don't like that term.
every five black bodies, there's one white person overseeing them. That's diversity.
Well, not diverse,
a multicultural, where it's truly multicultural.
Right.
It's in a city. I don't even call it urban, because urban is a person's name.
Right.
It's not urban.
Right.
It's a inner city environment that has what we mentioned before.
Right.
That's what builds culture. And if you are out somewhere far and living out somewhere far because you didn't want to be around that culture, then you are devoid of culture and you have nothing. Right?
Mental retardation.
So the
Shanine says their children are suffering too. That's what you said.
So the rich, their parents willfully make them retarded. Right. The poor,
but they still take them on trips.
They take them on trips
to the Louvre over in France.
But they don't tell you that the Louvre, where France got their culture from. Right. See, so it's always a retardation there, and the same thing with poor whites. Right. Right. They have the same problem.
Yeah,
and
they
for
don't
them,
want them.
And so for them to have stripped what they had out of schools too, because they couldn't go to nothing but the public schools. Right. So for them taking that out of school, so they have the same problem that black people have, but at least black people have hip hop, which is a culture that was formed outside, that started in the 80s, which is brand new culture, which borrows from jazz, blues, gospel. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And all the different forms, and reggae. Right. Right? Yeah. So it borrows from all the black art forms to make a true new culture that, everyone wants to be a part of.
Shanine says, poor whites are blind and information has been kept from them. They still don't have decent internet, or in some places don't have it at all. And their newspapers are biased. Yeah.
Right. So you see, they willfully keep them so you cannot advance. Right. And so America cannot advance to the point, and as ADOS, American descendants of slaves, American descendants of slavery, you want America to advance the best that it can, because one day, unfortunately for some, fortunately for others, it will be the time for us to move on. So saying all that and getting off on that tangent, we can reel it back in, talking about culture. This is what She's Got to Have It, the original film, was about. It was a culture which was talking about women,
Right.
black women in particular,
Right.
being powerful enough to
Right.
have multiple men, but then it breaks down and it shows that there is still confusion there. Now, which gets us to season 1
Right.
of She's Got to Have It on Netflix,
Yes.
which is a expanded version of the first film, right?
Yeah.
Except for Spike Lee felt that he regretted putting the rape scene in, you know, because, you know, time sensibilities changed and his mind state had changed.
Right.
It's called development, right?
Right. Shani said one of my favorite movies.
Right. So he removes it, right, in the first one, but it's still the frustration is there. But where Spike Lee begins to take it from just being a microcosm with just these characters, he expands it into not a microcosm, but he expands it out into a larger world where you see the circumstances and what happens to secondary characters for what the men have done with this one woman. People who they have, one is married, another is dating, a couple of them are dating.
Right.
Others, their relationships are shoddy because of it, right? So let's go through the who stars in this before we get to talking about season 2.
Yep. Nola Darling, the star of She's Gotta Have It, is played by DeWanda Wise. Anthony Ramos plays Mars Blackman. Opal is played by Lifenish Hadira. Cleo Anthony plays Greer Childs. Lyric Bent plays Jamie Overstreet. And Nola Darling's friends are played by Margaret Bingham, China Lane. Fat Joe is also
in the film.
Is also a part of the Netflix series.
He is a nightclub owner, or should I say a strip club owner.
Right.
But his strip club it changes to a nightclub is an all-around place for cultural, social events when it's not the strip club. I mean, that just shows you the multiple uses and the, you know, it just shows you what can be done when there's a person that is pushing culture in a community, which is Brooklyn. It's set in Brooklyn, and how this place, though it's a strip club, can also be used for social events, political events. I mean, it's just really, really an interesting. That's the power base, right?
And Elvis Nolokos, probably butchering his name, is also part of the cast.
He does. He's really good.
Great actor. Speaking of emoting, just like when we, you know, talked about the Will Smith film and we talked about Roland, Elvis Nolosko is a great actor. First time we saw him is on that ABC show. I can't think of the name of it, but when he was accused of a crime he didn't commit it.
That's right. Sure was.
He played the brother.
That's right. It's called. Oh wow, that is by. Yes, and then in the end he was wrongfully accused. He really didn't do it, but then someone else takes takes it onto their own hands.
And Regina King plays
his
sister, and that's when she won her first Emmy when she came back. You know, and
so the cast is phenomenal, right? And so the first season was good and introduced some new wrinkles to the story, but season 2 of She's Got to Have It takes it to a whole different new level of sensibility. So at the end of the first season, she's thrown away. This is a new wrinkle. She's thrown away her love of men and says she believes that she's a lesbian. And she gets into a lesbian relationship, and that's the end of season 1. Then as season 2 opens her in this relationship, right? Now, a lot of this is what's happening. So Spike Lee is on the pulse of what's happening once again, right? But he bases the whole season on Hurston. What's her name? Zora Neale Hurston. Zora Neale Hurston.
Yeah.
The the main Nola Darling is reading Zora Neale Hurston.
Yeah, their eyes were watching God.
That's right. And
that's her favorite book.
That's her favorite book. Her favorite book. So the full season is based on aspects of that, like beautiful metaphor.
Yes.
Beautifully written by Spike Lee.
Yes.
Right. So as it goes on, something happens and it's rocky, and she then begins to find her love for men again.
Right.
And then the storyline goes on. But let me tell you, this is how film should be made. And Spike Lee has always been a genius.
Yes.
You know, he has always been able to have the actor, the female actor, believe in what he's doing, the social message that he's putting across. That they do what most female actors will be leery to do. But it has to be done, because to tell a story this deep and this profound.
Hey, Willie.
Hey, what's going on, Willie? Thanks for chiming in. To tell this story, we're talking about She's Got to Have It Season 2 by Spike Lee.
On Netflix.
On Netflix.
Yep.
To have a story this in depth, this deep, this profound, it has to be nudity in the piece. And we've talked about nudity before. Nudity used as like models use their bodies. Their bodies are an instrument, not something sexual, but they're used to model these clothes. So nudity is used quite often. Same thing in a film that is getting a social message across. The closing image of season 2 will have you spun. It's a take on another image.
Right.
And we'll be able to talk about it once more people get to see it. But nudity used in the way that Spike Lee uses it. But
let's see. Shani says Spike Lee is my favorite director. Hi, Kimberly.
Thanks for chiming in. But nudity used the way Spike Lee uses it, and She's Got to Have It season 2 is well done. But best believe it is nothing like seeing black love. Hey, what's going on? There's nothing like seeing black love on screen. And I will tell you that it is viewer discretion advised, because it is black erotica. Coming to, they used to have these magazines called Bronze magazine, and it was all like writers like that wrote erotica. I'm trying to think of the one woman that had her HBO show before 50 Shades of Grey came out.
Was it Zane?
Zane, that's right. So it's black erotica. Spike Lee pulls off black erotica in season 2, and it is tastefully done. Again, it is through metaphoric thoughts of Zora Neale Hurston. And the musical soundtrack
is amazing. He even does, like, one episode is a tribute to Prince, because during the making of She's Gotta Have It
season 2
is
during the time
Prince died.
That's right.
So they did an excellent tribute to Prince.
And so season. I mean the way it is, it's so in depth. And then
the artwork is amazing.
The artwork. See, this is what I'm talking about. Coming from a city that has art district, theater district, a ballet, all of that is incorporated into what Spike Lee is doing in season 2 of She's Got to Have It, right? I mean, it's incredible.
In the one conversation too, we talked about Spike Lee's hand is on the pulse of everything. The conversation between Nola Darling and the black the artist that was from London, but he's African.
Oh yes, he discusses. He's in there and he's discussing the ADOS versus Pan-Africanism disagreement and working through. And the one character who comes to this black black painter retreat. believes one way about it,
Right.
and she believes the ADOS way about it,
Right.
and so I mean you have to see it.
Great
I mean it's a great season.
Yeah.
The way that he pulls out.
Yeah.
I mean, Spike Lee has just always had the pulse of what's happening going in his films. Now, here's a trick. Go ahead.
No, he also covers the hurricane in Puerto Rico.
He does.
Excellent episode, beautifully done. We go over to Puerto Rico.
And you know what's funny? Wyclef Jean did this at the what is that in New York? The Madison Square Garden. He had done this, and we had the DVD. We used to sell it in the store.
Shani says, using Zora Neale Hurston, incredible. Yeah, she said the soundtrack's amazing.
Right, so, he did, Wyclef Jean did this at Madison Square Garden, where he brought all the rhythms together.
Yeah.
And he showed where all the rhythms were African rhythms or black rhythms, and so when they're over in Puerto Rico and they're having a jam session in the street, it sounds like New Orleans.
Yeah.
The horns, the drums, it sounds like New Orleans, and you say, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
You're putting these people to, what's going
Hey,
on,
Ed.
Edward? Thanks for chiming in. You're seeing this culture and you're seeing all this come together, and she's got to have it, right?
The beach scene too is amazing. The cultural scene there in Puerto Rico.
Right. Exactly.
The drums.
The drums and how she is taking over.
Yeah.
Nola Darling is taking over, and then she figures on what she has to do, which leads into the conclusion of the season, right? Where she didn't know where she wanted to go with her painting, and she didn't know. But here's the twist, people. Here's the twist. I got to say this before I forget it. Now, you know, She's Got to Have It came out before.
Oh yeah.
Before Do the Right Thing, right?
Yeah.
So, however, what you find out, because there's a special guest that, well, it's not special because she's special coming in, and she's acting as Mars' mom. Now follow this now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mars is in She's Got to Have It.
So I guess we'll just say guess who his father is. We're not gonna tell who.
No. But we can't figure it out. We have to flip it around.
Okay.
There's a flip around.
Yes.
In chronological order of Spike Lee's films, which is incredible. Which then leads you into Spike Lee has created a world, right? And his world is Brooklyn, right? And all of the stories that he creates are all about Brooklyn, except for Chirac, right? But so Brooklyn is his main world that he tells his story in, right? So as you go through and you see all these different stories, so Red Hook Summer, like we said, go see Red Hook Summer. It's on demand. You got to watch it. Red Hook Summer. There's a twist in that you will not believe. But anyway, so there's a chronological shift in what you believe in movies, because even though She's Got to Have It came out first, it's actually not in the chronological order of what it is, because you find out that someone in Do the Right Thing is actually Mars's dad, right? Yeah. And then you see that Nola Darling's mother and father could be Denzel Washington and Spike Lee's sister from Out of Mo Better Blues. So you're seeing these worlds, and as you're watching them,
I thought that. But then, what did I say? I said, but remember they had a little boy.
But they can.
Unless she has a brother, she hasn't talked about.
He can rechange.
He could. She could be the baby and didn't mention her brother yet. Like season 3, she can say she has
right. So you see how this. So Spike Lee is recreating. So when you watch it, make sure you check that when Rosie Perez comes into the storyline, right?
Right.
Watch when she's sitting with Mars and she tells Mars who his father is, and you say, well, wait a minute.
Right.
If you watch these two films and you say, you know, Spike Lee embodied both of the characters.
And he says, wow, connecting the dots.
Right.
Yeah.
And you say, wow. So even though She Got to Have It came out first, chronologically it comes second.
Yeah.
And then there's films, and all this is in Brooklyn, so all these characters are able to be reintroduced later. Like Darling is actually introduced later in Red Hook Summer.
Oh, she sure is.
As older.
Yeah, she is. Ed says, he says, oh wow, he said, I didn't know that.
Yes, so you have to watch it. Spike Lee is taking your mind and opening it up in season 2 of She's Got to Have It, right? And you have to see Red Hook Summer because it dials into this. This is after Nola Darling is older, right? All this is going on. All the characters are older, right? So I mean, it's just really weird how he's taking it and taking this world of Brooklyn and introducing you, and the main focus is on the regentrification of Brooklyn in season 2. How now the black characters are calling their part of Brooklyn Black Brooklyn. Yeah, they are. You know what?
Oh, this is Monique.
Hey, what's going on, Monique? Thanks for chiming in.
Yes.
Listen, it's just great. I mean, you have to see, if you haven't seen season 1, if you've seen the first She's Got to Have It film, then you can go into season 2 because it's not except for the lesbian storyline, you have to see part 1 to get to pick up where part 2 is picking up at, right? Where part 1 ended. But season 2 is well worth watching. It's twisting you.
It ended so fast.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that. Thank you. I've been getting happy birthday wishes from everyone. I really appreciate that. You know, so you have to see it. So season 2 of She's Got to, and remember, it is erotica. Yeah. It is black erotica. Yeah. Spike Lee is on point. That's the only way this story could be told. Right. So but it's told so tastefully and it's equal. Yeah. Oh, she said she saw part 1. Okay, yeah. So going on in and see part 2. You will love it. It expands. Oh, this is what I wanted to talk about before we rate it. There is a coming of age between two children who are in separate families that are afflicted by what's happening with the cheating. Yeah. And the son comes of age. Oh my God. You have to see this, and the only way that this scene happens is because the woman again opens up the way for the man to come in to even have this broader discussion, right? So you have to, and it's some heartbreaking things. Spike Lee is on his game. Your eyes will be watering. I mean, watering during this scene. I mean, it is incredible. Spike Lee is on his game in this. I mean, I'm telling you, Spike Lee hasn't missed a trick. So, I mean, hasn't missed his technique at all. He's only advanced his technique. So see that. So see season 2 of She's Got to Have It. What would you rate it?
Definitely a 10. You know, it's well written. The cinematography is beautiful. Brooklyn as the backdrop is just beautiful. The community, like the pictures that they show. Matter of fact, every episode
there's different opening photographs.
Different opening
photographs, which are historic, not historic, meaning that they're old. Some they do have real, but it gives the historic framework of generations
of black people
in Brooklyn, right?
It's beautiful. The music was great, like just the combination of old school, new school, with jazz, Latin music, Asian music, just all music, pop music, rap music, rock music, just everything. But the one specific episode that is a tribute to Prince. It's just well done and beautiful.
Well done.
And this is just kind of like thrown in like part like trivia, but during the time Prince passed away, Spike Lee held this huge party. You remember in Brooklyn for Prince, and I remember seeing it on the news, and they incorporated that in the film.
Into the film,
so it's
you're
beautiful.
actually seeing
it's beautiful.
So it's a document. It's a historic document.
Yeah.
Because Spike Lee documents history that happens to black people based in Brooklyn, the Brooklyn experience of what's happening in the world with black people. So
she said, I have to start watching this tonight. Yes,
you do. Yeah. I mean, we binged when we came back from the Soul Central award show
last night, which was great.
We're gonna start talking about that.
We'll talk about that. But you know what? We came back, and so while eating dinner, late dinner, and watching it, we said, okay, we have to let this food digest. Yeah. But we didn't finish till like 3-something in the morning.
Yeah, that's right. We sat there and watched the whole thing.
And I was like, dang, did it end already? I was pissed.
I was ready to go.
I was like, I was hoping to see some more today.
The ending image. If you get a chance to binge watch it, you can binge watch it with a group of friends and have a conversation. Y'all might be pausing it and having conversation and debate. Male and female sitting there watching it together, having debate.
Right.
Y'all get through it. Might take y'all 6 hours to get through it with the debate, because it's something that should be sat down. Should be something that should be studied, right? But the conversation,
when we have our review party, like we said, we're gonna have it this summer. Matter of fact, one of our viewers, Treese, Nicole, we talked about it, and she's gonna be there, as well as.
But we're
gonna discuss stuff like this. So we're gonna discuss.
Actually, watch it and discuss it.
Yes.
But y'all should get together, have your watch groups, and watch this. Binge watch it. It's on Netflix.
Right.
And sit there and watch it, and then have the discussions on it, because the closing image will have you perplexed.
Right.
Because there is a disagreement that happens just before you see the image.
Right.
And so you're like, well, what's going on? Spike Lee keeps you in suspense until the ending scene. And then when you see, oh man. So what would you rate this?
I would rate it definitely a 10, because it's a great show. And like you said, that last image. And again, like I said, this summer when we have our gathering, and when we get together and we get a chance to meet some of you guys and discuss it, I mean, this is going to be amazing. So when you see it, if you want to just, on our page, give us your thoughts after you see it this
after you come in here and put it up with your thoughts,
and,
we'll talk about it again next week. It's worth talking about.
I have to give this show a 10 because, like I said, the cinematography, like the acting is great. The music, the soundtrack is great. The directing is great. I mean, so you can just tell that this is a passion project.
Therese said, yes, I'll be there with a smiley face. Yeah.
You can tell this is a passion project for Spike Lee, because he goes in like 100%. I mean, it's well done.
I keep on telling you, there's certain movies you have to see where Spike Lee started moving from film into digital. Yeah. If you haven't seen Red Hook Summer, I'm telling you, and The Sweet Blood of Jesus. If you have not seen this film, you have to see this film. You will see the first break for the guy who plays. That's what I was going to look up his name. Who plays I forget his name, but he plays
in Rhapsody.
He plays Queen.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah,
and he won the Best Actor award.
Right.
He was in Spike Lee's film The Sweet Blood of Jesus.
That's right.
So I'm like, that's where he got his start. Spike Lee.
He probably was in other things, but that's the first place we actually saw him where he had lines, right? And so Spike Lee had started a lot of people. Yeah. Spike Lee was sitting in there too. I expected Robbie, that's his name, Robbie. Yeah. I expected him to mention Spike Lee. I was sitting there. I was on the edge of the seat, like mention Spike because it was Spike's night. Right. Give Spike his credit, but he said everybody in here. Yeah. He just went wide blanket, broad blanket. Okay.
But all of his, like the Denzels and the Samuel Jacksons, and
they all
give love to
credit.
Spike Lee.
So if you don't give credit, it's okay, because the main people who are in it,
right,
do it. So anyway, for me, it's a 10.
right.
It incorporates everything. It's the ballet.
Right.
And when I say ballet, not actual physical ballet, but it's the movement that Spike Lee uses within it. It's the theater.
Yeah.
It's the art museum, the history museum. It's the PhD down to the everyday man pushing a broom.
Yeah.
It's all this,
and the history lessons they give you within the dialogue.
right? And it's the black experience in its totality. And She's Got to Have It season 2. If you love season 1, if you love the film, you're gonna love season 2. It's the musicality.
Yeah.
It's just.
I love the artwork
Spike
in it
Lee
too. It's amazing.
is.
Because Nola Darling, her character she's an artist. So
That's the only thing that I miss about the
visually
Cleveland area is the musicality. It's the musicality. It's the culture. It's the way that you look at it. It can be a situation happening with European Americans, and you're there, and you'd be somebody you don't even know, but y'all had common experience, and y'all just look at each other and just nod and laugh. It's the culture. It's the feeling. It's the love that you have, and the people who we meet out here from the Midwest, they have that same energy. Or anybody from Cleveland.
Nicole.
Yeah, like anybody from Cleveland that we meet out here, it's like a family reunion. Like we were at the Mayweather fight.
Yeah.
We was at the Mayweather fight.
Yeah.
And it came together. It was like a family reunion, and we had that. And some of us came from the northeast side, southeast side, but we all came together, and it was like Cleveland. Everybody was looking like, wow, these people really love each other. And then it expands out to the Midwest,
right?
And the Midwest sensibility, right? It's
like
it's
the
really
events over the weekend.
Like the events over the weekend.
Shanice says, "I miss the culture district back home." She said, "Oh,
yeah." So I mean, it's there, but then that's where when you plant somewhere, then you push that culture, and people see that culture in you, right? And you just move it along because it's a culture of love.
Yeah.
That's where it comes. Cleveland is a culture of love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even the haters love. Right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right? So I mean, it's just a weird dynamic there. But I give it a 10 all the way. Okay, so now the last thing that we're going to talk about tonight is the Soul Central Magazine Awards.
Yes.
That happened from the 24th through the 25th.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
kicked off at TC's.
Kicked off at TC's with a meet and greet. Matter of fact, we have that up, and it is rolling global. Again, when you turn on your smart TVs and your Roku devices, download the YouTube and the Vimeo app, and search Lordland Films, and you can watch it. And we got more announcements coming up of how you can see it even more globally right there on platforms. But we're gonna talk about that. But you can see it right there, and you can watch it. It's global. You can also see it at Vimeo.com/showcase/by Crazy Dee, BYCrazyDee, and you can see it right on your phone, right on your laptop, right on your PC, right on your Mac. Right? Crystal clear sound, booming sound, crystal clear picture, right? And we introduce you to new acts like what we do with the film review, music review show, and bars. And we introduce you to new acts from around the globe because they come in. May 30th is the new film review, music review show debuting with new artists from around the globe. You can see part 1 again globally, right? By using those platforms, what I told you. But the Soul Central Awards from Soul Central Magazine, created by Mark Rowe, came to Las Vegas. They're based in UK. Came to Las Vegas and people from all around the globe and around the country came in to be part of the award show. Right? So you may see us on different platforms because we were interviewing with people. We were interviewing with Shantae. We interviewed with Therese Nicole. We interviewed with a few other people that we, had just met. Right? And so the event was good. They gave an award to Floyd Mayweather's mother. Right? And they had different acts that came up. And I can tell you, this one dude from from Detroit, he came up on stage and he delivered, and you'll see him in bars. He came up and he delivered this verse about his moms. I mean, everybody in there, every time he delivers this verse, I heard him deliver a cappella first on bars, and the dudes was behind and said, like, yeah, and then he was up on stage and people was like, woo, yeah, right, because it's a heartfelt thing, because in every black male is a mama's voice for sure, no doubt about it, right? And so you feel that, right? You feel what he's saying. So shout out to them. Yeah,
because what I liked about it was also interacting like with Therese Nicole and Shantae.
Therese says it was such a pleasure to meet and talk with you both.
Oh, yeah, it's a pleasure to meet and talk with you also, And then Shantae and Eddie, as well as so many other the wonderful woman we met who interviewed us from the UK.
Yeah.
And,
we want their pieces to come out before I start saying names. We want them to have their pieces made because she was shooting to edit. So I don't want to.
Yeah, we're not gonna spoil it.
Anything.
We'll wait.
I only mentioned.
But that was a great interview.
Were instant, like Shantae's was instant.
Therese Nicole
was instant.
And then the award show, which was great because they recognized great talent artists as well as community service. Like Floyd's mother does great community service, and they presented her with an award. They presented an award to a really nice woman that I met from Southern California, and she's a survivor of cancer. Right. And so her organization,
Eddie Bell got best photographer.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that. So, and that was nice, and that's deserving because he puts in a work.
Puts in a lot of work.
Work, and so just people with just different. The woman that we met from Arizona, just like the woman in Southern California who had the program for people survivors of cancers. The woman in Arizona's program, Footprint. Really,
inspirational
nice.
Footprint.
Queen. Her program is really great, and she helps people with all types of legal issues, and there's just so many great people there. And then we saw Floyd. Floyd was there, and he was extremely friendly.
I was able to shake his hand and say, "Thank you for all the years." Because it's a lot of years and training, dedication, putting in hard work to be at the top of the heat to be able to do what he was able to do. And it's a toll too every time you get into the boxing ring. So I told him I was able to shake his hand and say thank you for the years, you know what I mean?
And it was an honor to meet him.
It was.
He's history.
Yeah. And he comes and he supports events.
Right.
He supports the events around she wants me to say the name. No, I'm not gonna say it though, cause she edited it. She's editing, so I don't want to say the name yet. But just having the person there in the house, and then we got to meet some other people that we got to keep on the low, cause I got to edit some things up.
Yeah, but a lot of people, a lot of talent, like the whole thing.
Wait, I got to meet Issa Twin for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
We reviewed the song Woke with him and I.C. Jones.
A great song. You have to check it out.
And when he came up to me, he said, I just had to meet you for the first time, man.
Yes.
And we gave each other a full hug, you know what I mean? Because it was like, it's like you realize and you meet these people through their music, and you see what they, where their minds are. Right.
That was another highlight. Like being able to actually meet him. Because you reviewed his music.
Right.
His video is on our review show.
Yeah, music review.
And then to actually be able to meet him, and he was just so humble and kind, down to earth. So it was good to meet him, also. But it was a great night.
Then we met these two new guys that are like, I kind of compared them to Born Jamaicans.
Yeah. Oh, me
and
too.
So I filmed them, and we're going to have them in the next bars.
They are talented.
And they showed me a couple of their videos. So their video is going to be in probably the June 30th episode. Because the May 30th episode of the Film Review Music Review Show is coming out May 30th. Just a time for Memorial Day weekend.
And we met their mom Tracy. She was real cool and down to earth, and she watches the review.
And Shantae and Eddie shot her daughter's video because she has a young daughter, so
she's
it's all
cute.
in the family.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Talented.
It's like me myself. I don't deal with children too much. It has to be like a lot of like okay. You know what I'm saying? Parents got to say okay. Guardian got to say okay. Then you have to be on tape saying it. You got to sign some paperwork saying it because there's so many pervs out here that children to me should have the opportunity to grow up. But sometimes there are people who just have that spark and that talent that need to get out there, but at the same time they need to be protected. And so for me, I'm the person that protects the children. So I have to be sure that the parent is there. They done said that it's okay, and everything is okay, because I'm not just gonna film a child. Just not, because children need the right, and should have the right to be able to grow up unaccosted. Right. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're trying to follow their dreams, it has to be through a whole process of doing. Therese says Soul Central Awards was great for networking also. Yeah, it was. You got to meet a lot of people.
We met a lot of people like, because you're still putting it together. But we met this, a couple of great men, from Sony, and then with a person that's working on his film festival in Nashville.
So we met a lot of different people. Yeah. So the Soul Central Magazine Awards was a good event. I will say this about the acts, though. I will say this about the acts, because the awards, everything is good. I'll say this about the acts. I think that this is all in training, and it takes a while for people to get it. But it's one thing. If you look at the main hip-hop acts that are really strong, they don't jump all around. They're not doing a lot of jumping around, because hip-hop is like poetry. It's about delivering that message through the spoken word. The beat is what gravitates people to what you're doing, but it's the beat. So you're supposed to stand there as a stoic figure and deliver those lyrics and have people look at you. If it's a bunch of people on stage and they bouncing around, it's a whole bunch of orbs going around. It's like it's a horror film, because it's the orbs of dead. At night you can catch in camera form, bumping all around. But when you are set stoic and you deliver, the eye is focused on you, and you're delivering the lyrics, and it helps you with delivery, and it helps you be able to deliver every word. And then at one point, when you get to that level, then you won't need the full track rolling. All you need is the back vocals rolling as the accents, because you're sitting there, you have your breath control, you're doing what's necessary, and you have to make sure your music is mastered so that it hits bottom, even if there's no bottom there. Even if the DJ setup doesn't have a bottom there, your stuff still hits bottom, right? That's one thing. So it's just training, right? And also training is saying one strong song.
Right.
My song that I know will move the crowd.
Right.
One strong song and out. I did my thing. I stood there stoic, delivering this. I had my hype people.
Yeah.
They're standing on the side of me. We rocking the front of the stage. People are looking up. And I did my one strong song and I'm out. And so that's what it is. And so that's the only thing I'll say about that. But I mean, it's all in love, though. There's no criticism there. Because people are young and then they have to learn. You know what I mean? To me, just to me, for people who are not known yet, to me, and this has been going on for years, so this is nothing about the Soul Central or anything like that, but this has been going on since I was in rap music, you know, back in the late 80s, coming into the 90s, when I grew up enough where I could be out there and actually do it as a DJ and then produce an artist. 5 minutes is too long. 5 minutes is too long for people who are not known. But one strong song, and people will remember you and they will remember those lyrics. But you have to figure out in yourself what your one strong song is, right? And so these are just what I would teach MCs. I remember we went on the Shirley Lowe tour. Oh, yeah. And Schoolhouse had various acts. Yeah. And they had the acts that were like a full group. It was like 5 of them. And when we went on a couple of shows, they were just bouncing around like orbs. And I'm looking at the situation. And I'm like, that's not how groups do it.
But they listen to you.
Yeah, right. So I got them together. I said, okay, the next time, I said, I used to train hip-hop acts, right? You know, I said, so this is what we're going to do, because practice makes perfect. But, you know, y'all out here now, so ain't no time for practicing. This is what y'all got to do. Y'all got to stand on that front of that stage, stoic, rocking with each other. And the people will look up at you and they will remember you more than jumping around like all orbs. Like, who the women's eyes going to follow? Y'all all jumping around in different places, but when y'all come as a united front and a force and y'all rocking the front of the stage, the women, and sure enough, the women looked up and they came back and said, you was right. And then for the rest of the shows, they went through and they did that, and the women would look up and the dudes was looking up to remember the lyrics and say that was cold and give them dap after they came off the stage. So that's what it is. And you know, people don't have to take my word for it, you know, but I've seen it work. And so that's what it is. So that's the only thing I'll say about that. One strong song, rock the stage, stoic figure. Like if you're going to walk back and forth, but all that bouncing around, it's too many orbs moving. Like you see how confusing that looks? But when you like this, and you walk in, people are following, then you set one place, and then they're looking at you. Too much confusion, settled. And so that's what makes great hip-hop, right? So plus, you know, we're in the years of video now. We've been in video for 30 years. So attacking the screen means standing still for the most part, unless you got some dancers in the back. You got Hammer got some dancing in the back. But if you watch a Hammer video, you see when he's rapping and the camera's on him. Then when it's time for the dance routine, it cuts to the wide, and there they are. They put me in the mix. But when he's rapping, 1, 2, right, he's up in the screen. So it's the same way on stage. So anyway, so to say that, but it was a great event. I loved my 48th birthday, Gemini, May 24th. I loved my whole weekend. It was beautiful, giving service. Met a lot of people from Cleveland. Servicing people. That's what I do. Giving service and giving back and doing that. That's what we do. We was at TC's again. TC's is our first advertising partner. It came in to advertise with her. You will see her. You see the commercial on the Film Review Music Review on May 30th. The commercial runs through, and So get ready for that. And so it was a great weekend. I loved it. I appreciate everybody's happy birthday wishes. You know what I'm saying? This is beautiful. I loved it. And we got to meet people, and we got to meet the next influencers, the next hit makers.
Talent.
We got to meet a lot of
talent.
talent. You know what I'm saying? You usually get to meet them when they send in their product. So they're cross country, I'm saying, but when I get the chance to actually see them out in person, that's a whole new experience. Right? So what would you give this weekend? I mean, would you give weekend and the soul?
Everything like a 10, because it was nice. It was nice just being around people with so much positive energy and people coming together, and it's just nice, because you saw people who didn't even know each other from different cities, different states. Like the camaraderie. What's the camaraderie?
Camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
Yeah, that's it.
It's so funny because I have a cousin and we were little, all the way through junior high school. Every now and then when I think about it, I'll pick with her. And she couldn't say dishwashing liquid. And I would say it. And she would get it wrong, and we would both just crack up laughing like to this day. And so say it again, camaraderie.
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 Don't worry about it. Don't worry about pronouncing. Just know that you got the A's in the class. You know what I mean? That's all that matters. You know what I mean? But Therese says, yes, one strong song. That's all that's needed to get the crowd jumping. Yeah. That's right. So, yeah, for me, it's a 10. I love it. It was a beautiful weekend. You know what I'm saying? Got me recharged because usually I'm in editing. Yeah. And so it got me recharged being around the people.
Says, good to hear. Monique says, I wish we could have been there. Yep, next time when you guys come out here.
Yeah, we got to make sure it's around that time when things is happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so, that's it, people. Yeah. This has been another great episode of the Film Review. We're the husband and wife team. I'm Crazy Dee.
I'm Tracy.
And we review movies, music, culture, politics, and society. And we will see you next week, next Sunday, on the Film Review.
Thank you.
This is another great episode of the Film Review. We are the husband and wife team. We are the husband and wife team. We are the husband and wife team. Stay tuned. We're the husband and wife team. I'm Crazy Dee. And this is the Film Review. Stay tuned. We got a lot to talk about. We are the husband and wife team that review movies, music, culture, politics, and society. This is the Film Review. Movies, music, culture, politics, and society. We're the husband and wife team. I'm Crazy Dee.
I'm Tracy.
And we review movies, music, culture, politics, and society. Sunday at 5:30 on Crazy Dion page on Facebook. Live stream. The Film Review. Movies, music, culture, politics, and society. This is the Film Review.